Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really digging into an incredible story, the life of Saint Marina the Great Martyr. She's someone commemorated on July 30th in the Orthodox Church, and her story is just full of courage and faith. Our mission really is to unpack her life using our source, Saint Marina the Great Martyr, the fiery witness of faith, and see what it tells us today.
Absolutely. In her story, it gives such a powerful look at faith under, well, the most extreme pressure imaginable. Saint Marina, she's also known as Ognjena Marija, which means fiery Mary, in Serbian tradition lived around 300 AD, and this is right in the middle of Emperor Diocletian's reign. A really brutal time for Christians, some of the worst persecutions, actually. So her life forces you to think about, what conviction truly costs.
Yeah, and what's so striking right from the start is her background. Completely unexpected. She was born into a pagan noble family in Pisidian Antioch, that's in modern-day Turkey. Yeah. And get this, her father, Odysseus, he was a pagan priest, like high up. So you'd assume, right, her path is light up, but nope, it went in a totally different direction.
It really did. And the change started so young. She was only 12, her mother had died, and she was living with a wet nurse, kind of away from the main household. And that's when she heard the gospel. A traveling Christian shared the message with her, risking everything, mind you. And the source says this divine truth kindled such a fire of love in Marina's heart. Just imagine a fire so strong that she decided right then to dedicate her whole life to Christ as a virgin. Which was huge, especially since she couldn't even get formally baptized yet because it was just too dangerous.
Right, no formal baptism, but that inner fire, it had immediate consequences, big ones. Her own father, Odysseus, completely disowned her, treated her like she didn't exist.
Wow.
But Marina, and she's still so young, she just put all her hope in her heavenly father, as she called him. But that was really just the beginning of her ordeal. Fast forward a few years, she's 15 now, out tending her father's sheep, strangely enough.
Yeah.
And she catches the eye of the governor, Olymbrius.
Ah, yes, Olymbrius.
Yeah, this guy was notorious for persecuting Christians. Brutal. And the source says he was immediately captivated by her beauty and noble presence.
And he didn't waste any time. He tried the charm offensive first, flattery, promises of incredible wealth, a big important marriage, the works. But Marina's response, just incredibly bold, crystal clear. She just lays it out. I will not offer sacrifice to lifeless idols who do not see or know anything. I give glory only to my Creator, the living God.
Wow.
I mean, think about that. In that time and place, saying that, that's basically signing your own death warrant, a direct challenge.
And Olymbrius predictably flew into a rage, just furious. He ordered her stripped, beaten with rods, just brutally beaten, and then thrown into prison. The source paints this picture, her body torn and bleeding, but her soul steadfast in prayer. That contrast again. Physical agony, spiritual strength. So picture this. She's in this dark prison cell, probably in terrible pain. And then she starts experiencing these demonic visions, specifically a monstrous serpent.
Right, a terrifying image. This is deep spiritual warfare territory, attacking her mind, her spirit, when she's already physically broken.
How does she react? This is what gets me.
It's amazing, isn't it? She doesn't argue, she doesn't scream, she simply makes the sign of the cross. Just that simple gesture. And the source says, poof, the snake vanishes. Gone. And suddenly, the whole prison is filled with divine light.
Incredible.
So you ask, what does that act symbolize? It's not just passive faith, right? It's like wielding a weapon, an active assertion of Christ's power over evil, over deception, her immediate go-to defense.
And the miracles just keep coming. As she makes the sign, the roof of the prison literally opens up, and this brilliant cross appears in the sky above her.
Wow.
Then a white dove flies down and actually speaks to her. Rejoice, Marina, wise dove of Christ. The day of your heavenly joy has come. Like a direct message from heaven.
And then comes the physical proof. The source says, instantly her wounds were healed. Her strength returned. So it's not just, feeling better emotionally. It's a complete physical restoration. Miraculous healings, like divine comfort made real, tangible, getting her ready, really, for what was coming next.
Because Olymbrius wasn't done. Not by a long shot. The next day, the torture ramps up again. He orders her to be burned with torches.
Or horrific.
And then, when that doesn't break her, he has her thrown into a huge vat of water to drown her.
But even as they're throwing her in, she prays, she says, let this water be my baptism, O Lord, and wash away my sins. And then everything just goes wild. A massive earthquake hits, shakes the whole place. Her bonds, the ropes tying her up, they just fall off. Miraculously.
Just fall off.
Just fall off. And she walks out of the water, completely unharmed, radiant even, glorified. It's a public spectacle, undeniable.
And then, as if that wasn't enough, this fiery pillar appears above her head.
Like something out of the Old Testament.
Exactly. And the dove comes back, this time with a golden crown, proclaiming her victory. Heaven itself is just validating everything.
So if you step back and look at the big picture, this triumph over fire, over water, over torture, what's it really telling us about her faith? It's more than just her personal strength, right? It shows this incredible connection to divine power, a power that literally bent the rules of reality for her.
All right.
Her suffering wasn't just endured, it became the very stage for God to show his power, strength through weakness. You see that theme a lot with the early martyrs.
And the impact of these public miracles,
Yeah.
it was immediate and massive. The source says over 15,000 people converted to Christ on the spot.
15,000.
Yeah. They just saw all this happen and publicly confessed their faith. Can you imagine the courage that took, knowing Olymbrius was right there?
Her bravery just sparked this huge wave, which of course sent Olymbrius completely over the edge. Fury doesn't even cover it. He just unleashes his soldiers on this crowd of new converts, and they were all martyred right then and there. Their feast day, the source notes, is kept on July 16th.
So tragic, but also...
It really makes you think, doesn't it? What does that mass conversion tell us about Marina's witness? It shows how one person's incredibly powerful faith, demonstrated so publicly through suffering and miracles, could just ignite belief in thousands, even in the face of death. Her story became bigger than just her.
And for Marina herself,
Yeah.
Olymbrius saw he couldn't break her, couldn't deny the miracles. So the final sentence, beheading. But even on the way to her execution, she stops. She turns to the crowd, and she urges them one last time to believe in the one true God, still witnessing right to the end.
Unbelievable courage.
And the source gives this incredibly powerful final image. As she bowed her head under the sword, Christ himself appeared with angels to receive her soul. So her earthly life ends there. But her story, her influence, it definitely doesn't. Her legacy is still very real. Her relics, the physical remains that are venerated, they are said to continue to perform miracles. The source mentions specific places. One of her hands is apparently at Vatapedi Monastery on Mount Athos in Greece. That's a huge spiritual center.
A very significant place.
And other relics are in the monastery of St. Marina on Mount Longa that's above Lake Ohrid in Albania.
And what's really fascinating about that monastery in Albania on Mount Longa, the source points out it's revered not just by Christians, but by Muslims too.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently they never defiled it, even during centuries of Ottoman rule, which is quite remarkable. There's even a note that at one point, a Turkish man served as the guardian of this Christian monastery.
That's amazing.
It really speaks to this, universal recognition of her holiness, something that transcended the usual religious lines. Her influence was just that strong.
And it's not just history. The source stresses that even today, countless healings and divine interventions have occurred at her shrine. It's a living faith. People still experience her intercession. Now, speaking of her legacy, let's talk about that Serbian name again. Ognjena Marija. Fiery Mary. It's such a powerful name. What's the story behind it?
Well, it's got this really interesting dual meaning. That's not just because she literally endured torment by fire, which she obviously did. It also refers to her faith, that powerful burning faith she had, that inner fire.
Oh.
Yeah, it symbolizes that intensity, that spiritual zeal. And there's even a folk tradition connected to it. On her feast day, July 30th, many people apparently avoid working with fire as a sign of respect.
Interesting. And beyond the fire connection, she's also seen as a protector, right?
Yes, very much so. A protector against natural disasters, particularly lightning and fires, which makes sense with the fiery theme. And also a patron saint for women and children, especially invoked during childbirth. Her story clearly resonates as one of immense strength and protection.
So when you put it all together, her life is just this incredible example of radiant faith, unbelievable courage, and just unwavering love for Christ, despite everything.
Exactly. Her life really does continue to inspire anyone trying to follow their convictions, especially when the world pushes back. It kind of leaves you with a question, doesn't it? What does it take for you to keep that kind of fire, that kind of burning faith alive in your own life, no matter what it costs? When things get tough, what does that faith look like?
A powerful question to ponder. And we'll end this deep dive with those words from the source, spoken by the dove. Rejoice, wise dove of Christ, for you have triumphed over the wicked one, and now rest in the bridal chamber of the immortal King.